hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. What's up, fam? What is up, my people? I think this is my first live of 2022. Hey, hey, hey. Listening to some sonidero. Who out there knows how to dance sonidero? Let me know if you know how to dance sonidero. Can you get down with this? Hey, 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 hey. Cheers. Cheers to 2022 Gregorian calendar. Cheers. Hey, 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 hey. Happy Sunday. ¿Cómo estamos? Yes, I'm drinking coffee at 2:15. Okay. Hey, 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 hey. How's everybody doing? I just wanted to sit down and talk with y'all. Been feeling inspired, been feeling really, really, really excited with a lot of things that I'm seeing, a lot of conversations that I'm having. So I just wanted to sit down with my cold ass coffee and say hi to everybody. Let's talk. Hey, hey, are people waking up? Hey, hey, chains breaking up. Hey, hey, lands taking up. Hey, hey, people waking up. Hey, hey, lands taking back. Hey, hey, identities. Hey, hey, ah. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define my people. Speaking, how's everybody doing? I am here working on my book. How's everybody? I am listening to what I do. I go to YouTube and I put cumbia sonidera, cumbia sonidero, and then I just put whatever's on there. So go to YouTube, cumbia sonidero, and it'll come up. Yeah, so I am here. I'm really excited to share so many things. I think this is my first live of this year. I just wanted to talk about how inspired I am for all the things happening, for so many youth waking up, for just so much. Hold on, let me find my song. I'm gonna perform my song with y'all because I don't think I've ever done that before. So let's do that. I have a song that I wrote like in 2010, a long time ago, and it's not Hispanic, not Latino. So it's just so beautiful to see so many people like waking up, right? And starting to understand this. It's like, fuck, like it feels amazing. I've been on this journey for 25 years, right? So, hola, Tonio Fuego, ¿qué onda? Epic Saga, Giselle in the present, what's up? I'm trying to find my song, y'all. A ver, espérame. Where's my song at? So I have remade this song like 3 times because I'm never happy with it. But you know what? There's no such thing as perfection. We just do our best. So let me show you the song. So anyway, I am celebrating today. I am celebrating the fact that I am still here, that I have not given up on my people, that I am healthy, that I have a beautiful 11-month-old, that I have great people in my life, that I wake up every day grateful for all that, grateful for the good and bad, grateful for the lessons that I've had, grateful for just fucking getting through life, you know, and doing my best to thrive amidst it all, right? Okay, so I have a song called Indigenous, but that's not the one I want to do. I want to do my song. Where's my song at? So for those who don't know, I'm on YouTube. I've been on YouTube since 2008. You can see a lot of the stuff that I talk here on Instagram. You can actually listen to like hour-long discussions about this, hour-long interviews about this with different people. I have, every time I'm invited to speak somewhere, I like to share that talk. So I record it and then I publish it. You should listen. Oh, of course. Jagariola is awesome. Absolutely. I do. I'm actually friends with Jagariola, and we have I actually interviewed him on my YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel and look up. I think it's like the recent third video that I did on Jagariola. So please go to my YouTube channel. I actually interviewed him. Amazing person, amazing role model for our people. Powerful lyricist for sure. Okay, why is my song not coming up? I'm trying to perform this song for y'all. Okay, you know what? Let's do my other song. Okay, so first time ever I'm doing this live. Why not? You know, I'm not a rapper, y'all. Don't come for me. I'm not like A-Simi, Panasonic, fucking Epic. But I fucking love music, right? I love rap. I love cumbia. I love banda. I love hardcore metal. Like, that's just, I mean, music has helped me so much in life. So to me, it's like, why not? Why not fucking do a song about this shit, right? Why not fucking try to bust some bars about this shit? Oh, here we go. Here's my song. Are you ready? Are you ready for my song? Let's see if there's a damn commercial. So this song is called We Are Not Hispanic. Let me see if I remember how it goes.
By grouping all people who speak Spanish under one category, corporations target one audience.
Can you hear it?
And therefore maximize exposure and profit. Absolutely. They do not care about profit.
So this song is on my YouTube.
It is a colonial power tool to keep us ignorant. That's right. This is the story of why we are not Hispanic or Latino. Tell it.
Can you hear it okay?
Let's hear it. Come on. We are
Not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people. We are not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people. Let me see if I remember the lyrics.
We are not Hispanic.
We are not Latino, we refuse to identify with colonial terms.
Dividing Europeans by killing
The indigenous.
time has come to
Put an end to all this.
colonizers hold the power.
Our definition.
They want us to exist with no
Definition.
taking our
Shit, I forgot my own lyrics.
land without giving us.
Any restitution.
Take away our names, give us mental chains, ended up our history till we end up in our graves. We are not Hispanic
Or Latino, those terms do not define my people.
Since 1492, our
Lands and our identity
have been the victims of that.
has white supremacy.
Stripping us from true connection to our history. It's time to connect and the legacy.
We are not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people. We are not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people.
We are not just people that are killed ethnically.
Mislabeled and ethnic because burned, cheap and
Kept ignorant and culturally enslaved.
being enslaved and terrorized for 5 centuries
They kept ignorant.
of what really happened.
Genocide is
Quickly forgotten. We are not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define our people.
in the land.
Which doesn't make you the ethnicity. Grouping us together is a marketing scheme. They want to kill us with white supremacy. We are Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people. We are not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people. That it? What the heck? Alright, let me do it again now that I found the lyrics.
It is a colonial power. They
Bam.
do not care about proper
Hey,
representation
hey.
and cultural identity. It is a colonial
So this
power
poem
plus ignorance.
song is on both of my books.
We are not Hispanic.
Here we go, here we go.
Tell it.
Hey, hey, hey.
Let's hear it. Come on.
It's called Genocide Prophet. We are not Hispanic or Latino, those terms do not define my people. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define our people. Speaking of Hispanic or Latino, to identify with colonial terms, finding Europeans by killing the indigenous. The time has not come to put it into all this. Colonizers hold the power of definition. They want us to exist with no recognition. The ownership to a land with a total any restitution. Take away our names, bound to the chains, ignorant of our ancient history, till we end up in our graves. Do not define my people. Like to our lands and our identity, have been in the victim of the hands of white supremacy, stripping us from true connection to our history. It's time to end the colonial legacy. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define our people. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define our people. Speaking must labeled and as a herd of sheep, were kept ignorant and culturally asleep, being ripped and terrorized for 5 centuries, kept ignorant of what really happened, and the genocide of our people is quickly forgotten. Damn, I changed this up so much, y'all. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define our people. Speaking the language doesn't make you the ethnicity. Grouping us together is a marketing scheme. They want to kill us with white supremacy. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define our people. We are not Hispanic or Latino. Those terms do not define our people. Woo! All right, y'all. I had to do it twice. That song I wrote. Let me see when I wrote that. I wrote that song. I put on YouTube. I wrote it a long time ago. That's what happens when you forget your shit, okay? So, actually, I'm in the mood of performing another song. Let's do another song. All right. I'm drinking cold coffee. It is Sunday, 2:25. I'm feeling good. Hey, speak now. What in the house? Speak now. What in the house? Speak now. What in the house? Hey, Qui. Saludos, Qui. Saludos. Shout out to Speak Nahuatl. SpeakNahuatl.com if you want to learn Nahuatl. Remix it. All right, y'all. Here comes the other song. This other one, when I originally did it, I was talking about the Mexica movement. But since I left that toxic ass place, I had to change it up a bit, okay? So now it's called the Indigenous Movement song, okay? I'm sorry it's not too... Can y'all hear it okay? ¿Cómo están? Can y'all hear this okay? Let me know. O sea, no sabía que tenías un concierto hoy. Yes. You know what? This is a fucking concert, okay? I'm gonna do my songs. I'm gonna do my poetry. Because I haven't done this in so long, you know? A lot of things have happened. My life has been transformed forever. I am a mother, okay? I'm a mother. No, anyway, the pandemic has really done a lot of shit, right? I lost 6 family members now to the pandemic. I birthed a beautiful human being during this time. I had to quit my job because of no childcare, no babysitter, and I had to take care of my child. So now I'm teaching online courses and I am creating t-shirts and shit because I want to thrive and I want to provide and I want to live free the best that I can from all the bullshit, right? I want to thrive. I want to live. I want to decolonize and I want to get free. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. I want to get free. So, speaking of getting free, pinche comercial de YouTube. Okay, everybody, here we go. This song is called Ode to Indigenous People. I think I recorded this louder.
Dedicated to Indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere. Dedicated to Indigenous from Mexico people. Reservations and what is called the United States, all the way to Tierra del Fuego.
Tierra del Fuego.
We are one people. One continent, under occupation.
This song is called Ode to Indigenous Liberation. Let me see if I remember it.
Indigenous
movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. We keep walking on our stolen lands,
poverty.
with chains on our hands.
Your ancient
Owners of this continent, no matter how hard they try, we will never forget. The ignorance does not let us understand. Since 1492, whipping squatters on our lands, blinded by the lies that we fail to see, that we are the survivors of the biggest genocide. White supremacy is kicking and alive, keeping us from truth and vision from our eyes, keeping us from truth and vision from our eyes. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Look in the mirror and you will see our past, hidden and forbidden. The slavery won't last. We are waking up and starting to demand the truth and justice we're taking with our hands. Look in the mirror and you will see our past, hidden and forbidden. The slavery won't last. We are waking up and starting to demand our truth and justice we're taking with our hands. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. They wish that we can just solve and quicksand in the and the truth they cannot stand. Our blood is the fuel that they keep the seeds going. The ocean keeps growing. They want our identities in our ignorance. They want us to believe that we are just like them, that we also jumped off the Mayflower so they can keep all of our fucking power to our land and to our resources. We are the walking corpses. In the movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Reconstruction of our nation is a matter of dedication. How bad you want our total liberation? Eurocentric thoughts become a memory of the time that we were in slavery. Colonial things mean nothing to me. Hispanic and Latino, we fail to see. Just another way to kill our ethnicity. Kill our ethnicity so equal white supremacy. It's the ultimate way to kill our ethnicity. Kill our humanity. Kill our humanity. Ignorance, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. 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 Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Indigenous movement, we're lighting up the torches. Tired of genocide, our liberation day approaches. Our liberation day approaches. Our liberation day approaches. Our liberation day approaches. Yes. So I try to remember as best as I could. I wrote that song, I want to say like in 2000. I wrote that song like in 2011, 2012. So 10 years ago, I wrote that song, and I've been trying to like change it up, get it right. So like I said, I love music. You know, I grew up listening to all types of music, okay? Part of my family, you know, were cholos, so I grew up with that aspect of it, like low riding, oldies, Snoop Dogg. I still remember when Snoop's first album came out. Yeah, it was good times. And then I also grew up with like metal music, right? Heavy metal, hard metal, hip hop. And I also grew up with what is called rock en español. I love Caifanes. I went to my first concert when I was 12 years old. Shout out to my tia Ana, my tia Carmen, woo woo. And I love hip hop. I love underground hip hop. Then I got into banda. Like 2011, 2010, I got into banda because I went to, let me see, you record songs at home? Yes, I record songs at home. So if y'all got a studio and you want to help me out, get this song. So what I do, like, so in high school, I used to be part of a hip hop group. We were called Quick History Lesson. We were a quick group. We only lasted like a few months. But anyway, back in the day, right, what I was really inspired were from like Reflection Eternal, Dead Prez, Black Star, right? So I grew up listening to that, right? I grew up listening to that. Snoop is not executive for Def Jam. Oh shit. Yes, and so forever and a day, I've been like doing my own little songs. I would freestyle all by myself. I still have the cassettes. For y'all who are too young, y'all probably don't know this, but cassettes were like this, and you could record. You manually had to record. I still have my cassette of my freestyle sessions that I used to do. And I remember my little sister, I think she was like 3 years old, and she comes out in one of the songs. And one of the songs was like, we are not Hispanic, we are not Latino. And like she was doing the chorus. So anyway, I have 2 songs that I did on, I just find like a random ass beat on YouTube. And then I would rap over it. And then I actually got the legit way, finding like non-royalty music. And then that's how I got that beat. So, and then I recorded with my microphone on my laptop. But anyway, all that to say that I fucking love music. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a professional. Don't come for me, okay? But I fucking love this, right? And to me, like, I want to express this message everywhere that I can, right? Through poetry, through history, through rap songs, through fucking whatever. Because it's, to me, it's such an important message that I want to convey it in as much ways as possible, right? He wanted to sign. What? That's awesome, Tonio. Congrats. Congrats. So, you know, so that song, I would perform it here and there. Like, mainly when I do spoken word, right? That's when I would perform it. Oh, by the way, I have a new poem I want to share with y'all. I'm gonna fucking read this to you right now. I feel it right now. I feel like I should be sharing this. So this poem I'm gonna read to y'all, I actually just wrote. I just wrote this shit. When did I write it? I just wrote it on the 8th. Was that yesterday? So this poem I'm about to read to you, it's called Container. And I just wrote this yesterday, and this is going into my second poetry book. My second poetry book, it's called Don't Call Me Latina, okay? And I wish I could record myself saying that when you buy the book. You just purchase Don't Call Me Latina, okay? Okay, so this poem is called Container, okay? And this is the first poem of my second poetry book called Don't Call Me Latina, okay? I should be drinking water, not coffee, huh? All right, y'all, let's do this. This poem is called Container, and it's the first poem of my upcoming book, Don't Call Me Latina, okay? All right, let's do this. It's called Container. Woo. Woo, okay. Here goes. My ancient connections to this land, to this history, spills over miles of memories, meditations, creations, original civilizations, centuries of occupation do not redefine me. I am rising with my abuelas, those that continue to raise us amidst the disruption of 1492. I am rising with the dreams of my ancestors. Our beautiful reflections, ancient identities cannot be tamed with Latinidad, cannot be drowned in the marketing scheme who want to manufacture me into a sexy Latina with highlights. Nah, that shit's over. Institutionalized ignorance that kept me from embracing our resilience is dismantling centuries of submission, the silence. Every cell in my body rejects being erased, has fought hard to honor the graves of those who came before me. who did not get to fulfill their dreams, but kept loving, who did not get to fulfill their dreams, but kept laughing, who did not get to dream dreams. Kept on passing down ancient remedies. Don't you dare call my tamales Latino. Don't you dare call my pozole Hispano. Don't you dare call my chocolate mestizo. And don't you dare call me Latina. Mic drop. Bam. Y'all, that is the first poem of my book called Don't Call Me Latina. And when you say my book title, please say it like that. Please say it like that. I just bought this book called Don't Call Me Latina. So, yes. Oh my goodness. I actually shared 2 songs with y'all and a poem. I'm fucking sharing today. Anyway, I am here today to take up space on Instagram to be like, yo, we're making this shit work for us, okay? Multi-billion-dollar owners of this shit. Ooh, la who? Era who? Kui in the house. Kui, ¿cómo estamos? Yes, so I'm just here to share, to create space, to share space, to take up space, right? And I'm grateful. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, y'all. Like, I'm just, sometimes there's so much shit that comes our way, right? Like, oh, wooty woo this, and this happened, and this and pinchy drama over here. What I try to do is just center myself. Like, what am I focusing on? What am I trying to create? What future am I trying to build for my little one, right? You got to do your poem so empowering. I was literally crying in class reading it. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Rebellious Antichrist. Thank you. You know what I mean? We just gotta remember ourselves. Like, yo, like, what am I doing? Like, what is the bigger picture here, right? Because honestly, I've been doing this for 25 years, and you can imagine, yes, there's been times I've like, fuck all this shit. I'm fucking tired, y'all. But then I'll get that message, right, of a fucking 12-year-old or 13-year-old saying, oh my goodness, I'm learning so much from your class, or I just watched your YouTube channel. And I'm like, whoop. I come back, it's just real. Like, and then right now there's like this huge wave of so much youth, right? Oh, Quetzal from TikTok. Oh, thank you, Quetzal. So Quetzal, we were just doing a live right now on TikTok, and Quetzal was there. And then I told TikTok that I would be over here on Instagram. You are so awesome, Quetzal. Thank you for following me now on Instagram. Yeah, like, I'm just like, you know what? Like, there's going to be so many things that come our way that are going to try to, to hinder you, demoralize you. Like, there's just so much, right? Like, especially Brooklyn Warmy. Hey. Everybody follow Brooklyn Warmy. Oh my goodness. Mujer. Saludos. Yes, I was just, I just performed 2 songs and I read a poem. You know what? Let's read another poem. How about we do that? How about that? Let me read another poem. Okay. I'm going to be out here for another 10 minutes. I got to give myself a fucking time limit because I could be out here all day. Okay. So let me read this poem called Legality. Okay. It's called Legality. Yes, I did 2 songs. My Instagram. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the live so y'all can watch it. And honestly, the songs I fucked up because I wrote these a long time ago, okay? So I don't remember everything. So I tried to do them, okay? All right, so this poem is called Legality. And I wrote this, when did I write this? I wrote this October 28th of 2021. That's when I wrote this poem, okay? Woo! All right, here we go. Saludos, everybody. Saludos. Cheers, cheers, cheers. My cold ass coffee. Cheers, cheers. All right, here we go. Ready? Are you ready with me? Everybody? Ready? Okay, let's do this. It's called legality. We are not illegal to this land, to our bodies, to this life, to this experience, to this awakening, to those millions of people trapped in colonial nations, disconnected from their original ancient foundations, to those who were not raised with your languages, to those who learned firsthand colonial consequence and colonial damages. Our ancestors got our back. They have been building, writing, creating for thousands of years. They have left traces so we can hold dear. Your experience of displacement is indigenous. Not knowing the specific nation or tribe you are from is also an indigenous experience. The occupation on our land, the occupation of our imagination is an illusion that they keep alive by neglecting our histories, erasing our identities with Hispanic, Latino, Latinx, illegal aliens. This system of white supremacy terrorism demonizes and stigmatizes our bodies as criminals for trespassing on our own lands. Fake borders, false sense of superiority, Eurocentricity. They try hard to institutionalize their narrative, recycled old lies. They wish we were all blind to their deception. They cringe when we realize who we are. As we share the lies, we heal from shame. Start to reclaim our lineage. New generations won't suffer this shit. We will never be erased. From the Inca to the Olmeca, from the Mapuche to the Diné, our identities are not a monolith. Our experience and interactions of colonization reflects our stories of resistance. They cannot contain the wave of liberation. An indigenous future is coming. It is of our own making. They will not contain the wave of liberation. An indigenous future is here. Yay. Anyway, that one was called Legality. And that's, what book is this? Oh yeah, this is the second poem of my next book that I'm finalizing called Don't Call Me Latina. Okay. So anyway, I'm here taking up space on this beautiful Sunday. It's the day I'm focusing on my book, finalizing my book, responding to my emails, talking to all y'all. Super excited taking up space here. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here because I'm excited. I'm excited with what I'm seeing. I'm excited for what is to come. I'm excited for how many of our people are waking up, right? And understanding that we're not Hispanic, that we're not Latino, that we're not mestizo, that all of these terms were created from the fabric of Eurocentricity and that are meant to contain our power within this limited space of colonization, right? And so I'm so happy to see so many of our people, right? And you can imagine, I've been doing this for 25 years, right? 25 years. So it's like, fuck, you know? My family were like, todavía anda en las protestas, la Citlali. Ay, ya la miré en el canal 34. Ay, mira, ya anda con la policía. But it's just, you know, when I feel like giving up or when I feel like, yo, like, do people get this? Like, should I fucking continue? It's like, yes, right? Our people are worth it, right? Our people are worth it. Our people are demanding. And I always try to remember, there's people like me out there, right? It's like, I'm always keeping in mind that there's millions of our people who don't know this. There's millions of our people who live their life thinking they're illegal, live their life thinking you know, oh shit, this is it, right? This is fucking European world. Like, that's it. 1492 Quetzalcoatl. I wrote my ethnicity as Chicano when I went to Sheriff Joe Arpaio County Jail in Arizona, and they erased my records that I went to jail, and I had to go to court to get my records to show. Wow. Wow. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I protested Joe Arpaio in 2008 through 2010. I think I went 8 times. I drove 8 times to fucking Arizona to protest that crazy monster Nazi. Speak Now What says 25, o sea, mi edad. Yes, güey. Yeah, so I've been doing this 25 years, and sometimes I'm just like, yo, like, ya me cansé, right? Especially I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Instagram, right? But I always remember myself. What is my purpose? My purpose is to share this message with as many people as possible, right? I'm trying to get this out there in the most creative ways because I want people to learn this in a way that's uplifting and empowering, right? That's what I want. That's my hope, right? I'm almost 40, right? So what I tell people is like, I don't got time to debate. I don't have time to argue. I don't have time. So Wuti Wu saying this, Wuti Wu, at the place I am in life, this is where I'm at. This is what I create. You with it or you're not with it. It's all good for me, right? Hey, Beatriz in the house. What's up? What's up, sister? What's up? What's up? So yeah, so where I'm at, I'm like, yo, I've been doing this 25 years. You know, I'm constantly challenging myself, researching, learning, collaborating with folks. So that way I see it is like, you know what? Life is sacred, y'all. Life is sacred. I don't have time to exhaust my energy with people who hate what I'm doing or disagree with what I'm doing or like, yo, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Like, I'm not there, y'all. Maybe when I was a teenager and maybe in my early 20s, I was like, oh my God, but they don't get it. I have to go defend myself. Yo, it's been a long time. Now, you know what I do? I do 3 things. I create, I research, and I create. That's what I do. Create, research, create. Create, research, create. Create, research, create. Now, does that mean that I'm not growing? No, yes, I'm constantly researching. I'm constantly creating. Which is, if you follow my content, you'll see that it's like, sometimes I'm like, shit, I used to think this, but now I don't, right? And you know what? I'm not ashamed of it. I am not ashamed of it, right? If you go to my YouTube channel, like from 2008, 2009, it's like, oh my goodness. It's like, fuck. But you know what? The more you know, the more you grow, right? And I have no problem with that. Like, absolutely none. I'm not attached to knowledge, right? I'm not attached to knowledge because if you're attached to knowledge and some new shit comes up, then it's hard for you to detach yourself and then attach yourself. So don't get attached to knowledge. I know what I know. That's what I know at this point. It may change next year. It may change 2 years from now. But right now, based on what I've researched, based on what I know, I can be confident in this information. Is it absolute? Of course not. Am I all-knowing? Of course not. I don't think anybody is. Hold on, let me read the comments. What's up, Brooklyn Wadme? We're constantly learning. Yes. Hey, I like that. Create, research, create. They want to pin you to your past claims for what? Get with the times, people. Yeah. You know, and it's funny because it's like, and that's where I'm at, right? Like I said, that's where I'm at. I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to argue. Like, before when I was younger, it was like, oh, you disagree with me? No, why do you disagree with me? What do I need to do to make you agree with me? I need your validation, please. Now, I'm like, oh, you don't agree with me? Cool. What's up? Cheers. It's very different, y'all. I don't base who I am on anybody else, right? But myself and the loving circle that I have. That's it. And I hope that other people see that too, right? And I have no problem. Like, I used to think this shit, I corrected myself. Now I do this. Perfect example. Let me give you an example. Qui's here. Qui from Speak Nahuatl. You know what I'm talking about. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. All right? It says, yes, this message is for the people who want to learn into our truth. No shade to others. They wave it off for transference, but they jump to attack. Yeah. Hey, wait, what the fuck happened? What the heck? What happened to my eyes? Oh, there you go. Yeah, so for example, Nican Tlaca, right? Oh my goodness. So Nican Tlaca is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? So years ago, I was part of the Mexica movement. I was in that organization. We can't even call it an organization because it was just a group for 20 years, right? And in the, I want to say early 2000s. No, yeah, like early 2000s, we were using the term Nican Tlaca. Nican Tlaca comes from the Florentine Codex, which was written in the 1500s, and reference indigenous people as Nican Tlaca, people here, right? And so the way that the movement was trying to use it was, if you don't know who you are, you don't know your tribe or nation, this is a great way of using something that's not Latino, that's not Hispano, as a placeholder until we find who we are or whatever, right? And so I was going with that. I fucking promoted it. I was like, that makes sense to me, right? I was on the law card. It was in the Florentine Codex. The people that are naturally from the land. So it made sense. So then, pinches ojos. What the heck? Hold on. So then I started learning more about Nahuatl, right? Thanks to Cuitlahuac from speaknahuatl.com. And little by little, I'm like, oh shit, like this is not feeling good anymore, right? Using this term Nican Tlaca, which for those if you've been following me for a while, you know that I used to be called Nican Tlaquera, Nican Tlaca Women Warriors. And so I was like starting to get conflicted with this term, right? Because for two reasons. Number one, it wasn't following any of the Nahuatl practices or variants of today, which I learned through Cuitlahuac. And shout out to Cuitlahuac, one of the educators from speaknahuatl.com. They never rudely corrected me like, hey, that's wrong. Like, they just let me be, right? They just let me be, teaching. I was learning, and it just hit me. I'm like, wait a second. Why am I using a term that our people today don't use, right? Like, who's going to know Nican Tlaca in the way that I was trying to use it? Academics who read the Florentine Codex? How many people are those, right? How many of our own people are aware of that term and aware of the construction of the Florentine Codex? Number one. And then the second reason was I started becoming really uncomfortable with offering a substitute to Latino, right? Because the way the movement was using it was, instead of saying Latino, let's just say Nican Tlaca. Like, it just means like people here are indigenous, right? To try to create a pan-indigenous response to Latinidad. But then I became very uncomfortable with that because I'm like, wait, like, do I want to do that? Do I want to offer a counter homogenizing term just because it comes from an indigenous language? So that made me very conflicted. So I was like, nah, I'm not with it, And so little by little, I started distancing myself from the term. In my 4th edition of my poetry book, I talk about that journey, right? I talk about how my 3rd edition does say Nican Tlaca, but my 4th edition does not, and I explain why. And I found no problem with that. I found absolutely, if anything, I was thankful for speaknahuatl.com. I was thankful for Cuitlahuac. I was thankful for those people who held space for me as I was learning, right? And I also held space for myself, right? To be critical about what I thought I believed and what I thought I knew, and also to hold space for myself to learn more, right? And to grow. And I'm so helpful, I'm so grateful for that. Like, I'm like, fuck, like, that's cool. So now it's like, oh yeah, I used to use it. It made sense to me then, but now I know better. So now I don't use it. That's it. It's fucking simple as shit, right? So anyway, so that's one example to show you, like, as this journey continues, whatever your journey looks like, right? You're constantly going to be learning information that, it might change prior knowledge. It might change your understanding that maybe you held for many years, and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, right? Or even like my take on Malinche, right? My take on Malinche for so long was really wrong. But that's what I knew, and everybody that I was learning from was teaching me that lens, right? That she was a traitor, that we have to recover the Mexica civilization because the Mexica civilization is the epitome of our civilizations, right? So then now, as I have continued to grow, and I have continued to challenge myself, sorry, I'm scrolling through the comments. Hey, everybody. Oh, speak now. Ay, estos ojos, ¿qué pasó? What the heck? Yes, speak now. It is breaking it down. Tlaxcamati. Tlaxcamati, Cuitláhuac. So, how the hell am I doing this? What the? Anyway, I can't get the damn comments. Okay. So, anyway, so then in the 90s, for those of you who have been on this journey since the 90s, that's all we knew. It was like Mexica, 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 Mexica. That was understanding all the history books of Mexico, all the anthropology of Mexico were all Mexica-centric, right? So that's what I believe. That's what I knew. And there was a really interesting part about this, right? So in that journey, in the movement that I was in, basically it was, and this is something that I'm starting to understand now, right? The way that the organization, what the hell? Yeah, the organization viewed identity, Indigenous identity, was we should only study what our people knew and how they lived up until the Spanish invasion. Anything that happened after the Spanish invasion it's corrupted, and it's stained with Eurocentricity. So we should not learn anything or follow anything past the European invasion of our land. That's kind of the philosophy of the Mexica movement, right? And being in it for so long, and so many people, not just the Mexica movement, but all those folks in the 90s, like you'll see a heavy concentration on Mexicaness, right? Mexica Tiawi, Aztec dancers, Mexicayo, like and that's because that's all that was promoted. That's all that there was. That was a huge emphasis. So then now, right, in the last 3-4 years of really trying to, continue my research, continue my studying, you start studying, and I was like really blown away with this, how the whole aspect of Mexicaness, right? The Mexicaness, I'll call it Mexicaness, was actually constructed by the Mexican government in the 19th century as a way to flatten and homogenize all indigenous peoples of Mexico into this narrative of defeat and this narrative of erasure. When I learned that shit, I was like, what the fuck? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, all this shit. But I have grace and I held space for myself, because I'm not the only one out there, homeboy and homegirl. Like, I'm not. So, right, all of us in the 90s that knew, like, that's all we knew, right? Like, we have to, because I started my journey in the 90s, I can't just use that same knowledge that I was introduced as knowledge with the rest of my life, right? That's how it was introduced to me when I was 15 years old. That's how it was introduced to me. But as you continue your path of decolonization, you continue studying and incorporating different analogies and different analysis and different research. And that's how you grow, right? And there's a lot of people, you know, and I mean, cada quien, you know, has their own way. That's totally fine. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the comments. Yeah, so, oh, sorry. Pinches ojos. Oh, so anyway, so now I'm like, oh shit. And it's funny because it's not just the people in the 90s and the 80s, but even like today, Mexican anthropologists, historians are actually critiquing those that came before them and saying, oh shit, like y'all were just focusing on the Mexica, like y'all were just like, you know, and honestly, that's how I was introduced our history, right? It's like, oh, the Mexica civilization is the epitome, is the epitome of our culture. So that's what we have to reclaim. That's what we have to reconstruct. And anything that happened after the Spanish invasion, like anything that our ancestors, that our indigenous ancestors created, was seen as distorted or Europeanized, right? And there was like this robustic view of that, saying, no. And then now that I'm older, right? I left the organization in 2017. So I've had this time to continue my growth, continue studying with different interpretations, right? Finding different answers. And now, I mean, back in the day, it was fucking rare. Like, we never imagined that you would have, you know, digital archival records to put your family tree together. I mean, today you can look for your great-great-grandparents' birth certificates, marriage license, like at the tip of your finger. Like, it's so fucking amazing in this digital age how many of the historical documents have been digitized. And I strongly encourage you to create that, to look for your family records in that form, right? And so anyway, so now it's like, oh shit, like there's so much more to know about this. And honestly, I am really energized because everything that I'm learning now, it's only reinforcing the basic understandings that I had of our history. Like, for example, the whole thing about mestizaje, right? For a long time, I had been studying Guillermo Bonfil Batalla, who wrote the book Mexico Profundo. And his argument is, even if you're, so his argument is, even if you're mestizo or mixed blood, you're still dominantly indigenous because you're eating, talking on the land, like your entirety, who you are as a person, if you are of indigenous heritage, is indigenous, right? Like mestizaje is trying to widen you, is trying to kill off the indigenous aspect. So I had that understanding thanks to his work, right? Guillermo Bonfil Batalla, he wrote Mexico Profundo, Reclaiming a Civilization. So for those of you who are interested. So I had that understanding, right? And this, he wrote that in the 80s, okay? So I read this book in the 90s. So then new research is coming out. New challenges of mestizaje are coming out. And guess what? These new challenges are taking his argument and to the next level, right? To the next level, which now they're looking at records, they're looking at the census reports, they're looking at this entirety of how the government, the records, the political culture of that era was all embedded with each other And their attempt was to whiten up as many indigenous people of Mexico as possible. So, in that case, it makes me feel really fucking good about what I've been studying, what I've been arguing. And it's really enriched my understanding of mestizaje. And it's like, fuck, like, it feels amazing, y'all. Like, when I heard Federico Navarrete, he was giving a talk, right? And he was saying, yeah, he's like, basically, the mestizo in Mexico, he says, he didn't say indigenous, but he said the mestizo in Mexico basically are indigenous people who at one point decided to stop speaking an indigenous language because of the pressures of the government. And he takes it to the next level. He says that decision was usually made by the man in the family, which contributes to this patriarchal notion of power and culture. And he says and usually reinforces the notion of patriarchy and of him being the person that decides that point of departure from indigenous identity and language. Whew, that blew my mind. Right? So it's just like I tell people, like, I'm hoping, when I share all this, I want y'all to feel comfortable with this shit too, right? Because again, when I started my decolonization journey, I was surrounded by a lot of arrogant, cocky, like dogmatic people, right? Which in turn, I became that way, right? Like I honestly remember, like, I was like 15 years old. I thought I fucking knew everything. Like, I was like, I learned about this new truth, right? This history of white supremacy, of genocide. And I felt like this was like I knew what was happening behind the scenes. Like, that's the feeling I had, right? That's the feeling I had, like, fuck, I know what's happening behind the scenes. Like, oh shit, like, soy la chingona, right? And it shit got to my head. It got to my head, and I thought I knew everything, and I was also straight edge at that time. So I was taking it to the next level, and I was like annoying little ass. I was fucking annoying, right? And I would confront people if they had tattoos, piercings, if they were drinking. Like, I honestly took like Mexica culture, or like the Florentine Codex, right? I took it like, oh my gosh, like, this is the ultimate truth. Like, we must live this way. If not, we're not decolonized. And I did. I lived that, and luckily it was short-lived. Luckily that shit was short-lived, because life was like, little girlfriend, no girlfriend, like, cálmate, you know? So I learned real quick, like, this is not the right attitude to have, right? Like, when you know this information, the more obligated you are to share it, the more obligated you are to sharing it with other people, and don't weaponize it and make people feel like shit for not understanding the world and knowing this knowledge that you know now, right? And I mean, I understand where I was at that time, because I was surrounded. That's all I was surrounded with. I was surrounded by people saying, oh, I can't read, you can't read that book yet. You're not going to understand. You're not there yet. Oh, you can't read this because you're not there yet, right? I had an elder like that. That was like, no, we can't talk about that yet. Like, you're not there yet. And then other members, which are like older men, that were like, no, you're not there. You're not gonna understand this. So anyway, as you can imagine, like, I was like, what the fuck? So now as I'm older, I see that pattern among a lot of people, right? Like, they start decolonizing, and immediately, like, it hasn't even been a year, and they're like already like the authority on decolonization, or they're gonna call you out, or they're gonna like talk shit about people and how they're choosing to decolonize because that's not the right way. Like, come on, y'all. Like, let's not weaponize this shit. Like, our people have had enough. We've gone through so much shit. The last thing we need is another person over here telling us how and when and what's the proper way and this and that, right? To decolonize. So it's just so much. It's so much, right? And so I'm hoping that in sharing what I share, and the research that I'm sharing, and the testimonies that I'm given, that I inspire y'all, right? I inspire y'all to be gentle with yourself, to be gentle with your people, that everyone's on their own journey, right? Everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's trying to figure shit out. You know, everyone's like, oh, what the fuck? What's happening? So to me, I don't see it as my place anymore to be like, hey, you're not doing this. Or why aren't you doing it like this? Or what's up with this? Like, what the fuck am I? You know, that's not my role. My role is to share information, to hopefully inspire people, to empower people with information, and hopefully it helps them on their journey, right? Because I'm trying to be what I needed when I was younger. I'm trying to create what I wish existed when I was younger, because I needed a chingona like myself in my life helping me get through shit. That's what I needed. So that's what I have become, right? I have become that person that's like not trying to put up this phrase, like this front, like, oh yes, like you're not ready, you're not worthy. Like, fuck all that shit, dude. Like, we've been through so much. That's the last thing we need. Anyway, how's everybody doing? How's everybody who's out here? Those you like the lashes from the thingy? Sangre Indígena art, amazing work. Started showing my daughter your videos. I try to reach her about our Maya culture myself, but she definitely appreciate. Oh, thank you. The female energy perspective. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much, Sangre Indígena. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Shout out to your daughter. Rebellious Antichrist. Sorry, y'all. I'm reading all the comments. ¿Cómo están? Speak now what? The Mexican state, Mexico, culturally appropriated Aztec culture to construct its settler state. Absolutely. IG want to colonize your eyes. I know, what the heck? Yeah, Stevie Sky, how are you? Yes. Brooklyn warned me. And that's something super needed. Different perspectives from different nations of the same story. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been researching my indigenous native roots. Malo first says roots of Opata Nation since 1968. When I was 9 years old, during the 70s and 80s, no information. Now I'm finding some information. Yes. Opata Nation, there's a website, excuse me, from the Opata Nation that they're coming together. So if you are from the Opata Nation, I came across that recently. The Opata Nation have a website where they're coming together and they're trying to collaborate with other members of the Opata Nation. So check out, let me look at what this is. I think it's opatanation. Let me look it up. Hold on. Yes, so exactly. So now there's a lot more information on our history because a lot more access, right? Before, a lot of the stuff was not digitized and you had to travel to Mexico to look at the archive, to look at the... So if you go to opatanation.org, that's... I have a relative who's also from the Opata Nation, and I was helping him locate his tribe. And that's what I came across. So if you are the Opata Nation, if you go to opatanation.org, let me show y'all. opatanation.org. See that? You can learn more about what they are doing. This is official website of the Opata Nation. We are pleased to present to you the members of the Opata Nation and internet communities. This is our official website. So hope that helps somebody from the Opata Nation. Stevie Sky, what's up? The book that I recommend on mestizaje is Mexico Racista. Mexico Racista is by Federico Navarrete, and it's not translated in English, but I recommend it. Mexico Racista by Federico Navarrete. Recommend all resources by linguist Yasnaya Elena Aguilar Gil and author Federico Navarrete. Citlalis Maromra. Oh, Tlaxcamati Cuitlawak. You're so sweet. You're my role model. Mexico Profundo for sure. Mexico Profundo for sure. Mexico Profundo is from the 80s, so you keep that in mind. So I would say read Mexico Profundo and then read Mexico Racista, so you can kind of see like how they reinforce each other. Where are we at? Let's see. All right, everybody, I have about 5 minutes. Does anybody have any comments or questions for me? Oh, shoot, look at these lashes. Ya me pusieron pestañas. We are calling our relatives home with grace and love. Thank you so much for your kindness and teaching. Thank you so much, La Sirena Maldita. Oh, I love that name. Machichi. Our tribal name is Machichi. Beautiful. Oh yeah, so just want to let y'all know, ay, mis pestañotas. Ay, híjole. Okay, so yes, I am about to let y'all go. I wanted to share space. I was super excited, super amped up during this live. I performed 2 songs, 2 poems, and I'm just here taking up space, letting y'all know that, remember, life is sacred. Life is sacred. So be gentle with yourself on this journey, and remember that you do not have to engage with people who don't wish you well, right? We're not obligated. And this is one thing I'll tell you. This is really important. Okay. I think this is the lesson of the last 10 years. The lesson of the last 10 years is, just because you're cool with people politically doesn't mean y'all gotta work together, and like, it doesn't mean that, right? It does not mean that. Y'all can just, and that's what I tell people, you don't have to, like, just roll with what your gut tells you, right? And be gentle with yourself, and don't try to live up to anyone's standards of beauty, of success, of decolonization. Nobody, right? You look like Ana Gabriel. ¿Quién como tú? Hey, don't get me started on some Ana Gabriel jams. Oh my goodness. Anyway, y'all, I just want to leave you with that. Take up space, be unapologetic. I'm really open about my journey because I went through so much bullshit with people trying to police me. I went through death threats, like the type of shit, like back when we were out there in the streets, especially against like the not the Proud Boys, like the nativist groups that were called like Save Our State, and the pre-Trump people, the pre-Trumpsters, it was so much, right? Death threats and like other things that I don't like to share openly on here because it's no point to it. But just know that you matter, and your journey is going to be different, and it's okay. Don't try to live up to anyone else's standards, because you're wasting away a life that is not meant to be your life. Be authentic, be who you are, right? If you don't align with people, if you don't agree with certain things, that's okay. Like, we're not a monolithic people. We don't have to 100% agree and then police other people for not agreeing. Like, yo, I've been doing this for too long, and let me tell you that there's so many things and so much time of my life I could have recovered had I not listened to the bullshit, right? Like, just follow your intuition, know where you're at, honor where you are at, honor your growth, be gentle with yourself. Decolonization is a constant approach, a constant commitment of learning and challenging yourself, right? So I'm very transparent because, like I said, I've been through so much bullshit. I'm trying to save y'all from some of that shit I went through. You don't have to go through that, right? Decolonization doesn't have to be fucking dramatic and muddy and filled with toxicity. It does not have to be that. There are spaces like that. There are people like that, but that doesn't mean you're obligated to deal with that and to expose yourself to that. So with myself, does everyone agree with me? No. Do I want everyone to agree with me? No. Right? I create content for those who are like-minded, who may benefit from this research and knowledge. In a way, I'm trying to share this information with people because it enriches your life. Because learning my history saved my life. Literally fucking saved my life. So the power of knowing who you are as an indigenous person in the diaspora of Mexico, Central America, in a colony that works hard to erase you is an act of resistance. Knowing your history, learning your history is an act of resistance, right? Creating community, being humane, being gentle with each other is an act of resistance, right? Remember that. Remember that. And remember, life is sacred. Again, you do not have to deal with people that you are not aligned with. It's okay. So, like I said, I'm way too old to be arguing, debating people. People don't agree with me. That's totally fine. When I was younger, I was like, why don't they agree with me? But that's not what I meant. Oh my God. Let me go try to talk to them. Oh my God. Like, I'm not there, y'all. I'm in my 30s, almost going to be 40. I have a beautiful child. I've contributed a lot to my people. And I'm very satisfied with everything that I've done. Because everything I've done with the best intention. So have I made mistakes? Hell yeah, I have. Will I continue making mistakes? Hell yeah, I will. But you know what? That's a human experience. And we should never be ashamed or never stop ourselves from doing something because we're afraid of get it on. Oh shit, am I going to say the wrong thing? Are people going to get mad at me? We do not control how we are perceived. You are here to live your authentic life, to be your authentic self. Will people align with you? Some will and some will not. But you have to be at peace with that truth. It's okay. This is not a popularity contest. This is not a celebrity contest. Move within authenticity. Challenge yourself daily. Honor your ancestors. Honor yourself because we are also ancestors. Remember that. All right, everybody. Much love. This is Citlali from Mexican Excellence. I had a blast today. This is like a party. I had a party in this last hour. I performed 2 rap songs. I read 2 poems from my new books. My new book is coming out pretty soon. It's called Don't Call Me Latina. And if you say my title, make sure you say it like that, okay? Don't Call Me Latina. That's the name of my next book. It's coming out hopefully February, March. And don't forget, I am on YouTube. I am on TikTok. And I also have 13 years of free content on my YouTube. And I recently started teaching private courses if you're interested. If you don't have time for college, if you are a high school student who want to learn a decolonial approach to history, I'm teaching 3 classes. The registration is open. I'm teaching Decolonial History of the Americas in February. It's going to be February 9 Wednesdays. It's 4 Wednesdays. Let me look it up. It's 4 Wednesdays. Where am I at? 4 Wednesdays, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I'm teaching 2 classes in March. I'm teaching Women of Mesoamerica. 3 Saturdays of March, I'm teaching Women of Mesoamerica. And I'm also teaching Decolonial History of Mexico 4 Wednesdays of March. So check out my website. This is my website. Go to Citlali let me open this up a little bit. Go to Citlali-anahuac.com and you will see my website. Let me show you. That is my website. Citlali-anahuac.com. Okay, everybody, it's been beautiful talking to you all. This is Citlali from Mexican Excellence. Don't forget, I have a YouTube, a TikTok. I'm on Facebook. My website is citlali-anahuac.com. And I'm teaching 3 classes, 1 class in February, Decolonial History of the Americas, and 2 classes in March. What is it? Women of Mesoamerica and Decolonial History of Mexico. My registration form is here on my page in my link tree. It's been beautiful. We had a party today. It's been a beautiful party. Sending mad love to y'all. Stay authentic. Move with authenticity. And remember to always, always honor yourself and honor your ancestors. Tlaxcamati, have a beautiful day. Nos vemos al rato. Sas.